Well, ladies and gentlemen, today was a great day for the former patients of Dr. Nikita Levy. And we're very gratified, we're very pleased and happy that we just came from the fairness hearing where Judge Cox has finally approved the settlement for our clients in the amount of $190 million. So we're very happy, ladies.
Yes. Happy.
We should be. You know, it's been approximately 20 months of a very difficult time for our clients, a very difficult time for their lawyers at times. This is a very challenging case, a very stressful case for everyone involved. Some people would say it's a gut-wrenching case. But here we are with the $190 million settlement, and we can start to heal our community now. Our clients can begin to get some closure. We have learned that the former patients of this doctor were victimized and they were exploited and they were betrayed and they suffered a breach in trust, not only for the institution, but for the medical profession as a whole, and a breach of faith. And in our interviewing these people and getting to know our clients and getting to understand what this case is really about, we learned about the very significant injuries, damages, and trauma that they suffered as a result of his conduct. Now, today, with this final approval, our clients can start to move forward. There will be a sophisticated allocation team that will be available to them, consisting of a board-certified forensic psychiatrist, a PhD psychologist, and other professionals who will evaluate each and every plaintiff in this class. And then, after doing so, they will place these injured women in one of 4 categories that the allocation team has constructed. So it is the medical team which is running this allocation, and it is the medical team which constructed the 4 categories of damages and will evaluate the plaintiffs. Now, we will do that as promptly as possible, and we will start as soon as possible. We have to wait the requisite 30-day appeal period from this order that the judge passed today, and the $190 million will be funded 14 days after that. So if there are no appeals, it'll be 44 days from today. The $190 million will be placed in an interest-bearing account that will be controlled by an administrator who will run a qualified settlement fund. That's a fund established by our Treasury regulations into which the $190 million go. And no money will be spent without the approval of the court and without the administrator dispersing the funds. That's how it will work, and the money will earn interest. I can truly tell you all today that this result is truly historic, groundbreaking, unprecedented, extraordinary, and we're very proud, all of us.
Yes, we are.
And our steering committee who are back here, all of the lawyers on the steering committee have worked so diligently, so hard, have faced so many risks and so many challenges in this case, to have finally arrived at our destination, at our goal. To be successful for these clients is extraordinarily gratifying for us. We are told that this is the largest single perpetrator sexual abuse case in our country's history that these ladies received today. So our clients have stood up, and they're standing up now. And they fought back. And I have to tell you, over the 20 months that our steering committee has worked hard with Howard and myself, they've communicated well with us. And we've done our best to communicate with them. They have spurred us on. They fought back, we fought back. They've been brave, and now they are recognized as a very, very serious force in this city and all other cities in the United States. Folks, we have sent a very loud and clear message today across these United States. This conduct on the part of this physician is not going to be tolerated in Baltimore, Maryland, her sister states, not in this country. And it's a great day for women's rights. And it's particularly gratifying looking around and seeing the world we live in today. We don't have to recount other recent history. But this kind of conduct has to stop. And the way to stop it is what these ladies accomplished today. We're faced with people who trivialized what happened here. They trivialized what Dr. Levy did, and they trivialized the damages. Well, after all, he was just taking secret pictures. Who cares? Well, we proved that this conduct will not be tolerated. And we proved that these damages will not be trivialized. Not today, and not for the future, from this day forward. I think that we spoke loudly and clearly. I think we've made our point. I think we have been extraordinarily successful for our clients. After all, that's what a lawyer wants to do. That's what we try to do. And every so often, you get a chance in life, folks, to really make a difference, to really give people a voice, give people power, and provide needed, necessary, and fair compensation for what happened here. And thanks to the steering committee and these wonderful clients, this is a representation of our clients. We have between 8,000 and 9,500 who have vigorously supported this settlement. We are extremely proud and gratified to be here. And now I'll turn it over to Howard.
Thank you, John. Today is a historic day. What happened today is the approval of a settlement, a class action settlement as fair and reasonable, on behalf of more than 8,000 women who unfortunately and sadly were victimized by surreptitious photography and videography of very personal parts of their anatomy, and many of whom were also victimized by what we describe as boundary violations. But today stands as an example, in particular this settlement, this class action settlement, stands as an example of the best that the United States civil justice system has to offer. As class counsel, we worked zealously and vigorously to bring about what we thought was a fair and equitable result for our clients in our effort to maximize the recovery that we felt that they were entitled to receive. Defense counsel, very able local and national defense counsel, vigorously represented Johns Hopkins. This resolution, this settlement didn't come easy. It's not just a matter of time, it's a matter of the effort that went into it. And both sides went to war. And they went to war with a purpose. And that war is over, and it's resolved in a settlement that really, frankly, is in the best interest not only of our clients, and that's first and foremost in our mind, and first and foremost in the mind of the court in deciding to approve this settlement. But frankly, it's also in the best interest of Johns Hopkins Hospital. It's a venerable institution, respected not only locally, nationally, but internationally, and it gives them an opportunity to put risky litigation behind them. It gives them an opportunity to instead focus on what they do best. and what they're noted for, and that is some of the finest medical research in the country and providing some of the finest clinical care in the country. This case was an aberration, but it was one that happened, and it was a wrong that needed to be remedied. That was the focus of this litigation. And remedied for whom? For the women who were the patients of Dr. Levy. And we got to know them very, very well. And for a purpose. Aside from the fact that we wanted to know who our clients were, we wanted to know as much as we could about them and have them know as much as they should know about us. We wanted to find out the harm that they were really subjected to. And that might sound easier said than done, but when you represent 8,000 or 9,000 women and maybe more, you really have a lot of work to do. We interviewed extensively with the help of the entire steering committee, over 4,000 women. We then consulted with, as John said, a board-certified psychiatrist and a board-certified psychologist, and developed an interview protocol, if you will, that was carried out by women interviewers, because it was determined that we would get the best information in a woman-to-woman encounter. And we got some excellent, excellent information. It helped us really assess the scope of the harm that these women had suffered. And it was extensive. But in the course of this war that I described before, lawyers for both sides have to look at the case objectively. And that means not looking at a case through rose-colored glasses. So as Johns Hopkins lawyers look at the case, they try and look at everything and put it in the best light for themselves. And obviously our job is to put all these issues that arose in this case in the best light for our clients. And that debate, if you will, that negotiation process, those confrontations that took place, sometimes congenial and sometimes not so congenial, produced this settlement. And it's one that we feel comfortable is fair and reasonable. Our clients feel comfortable that's fair and reasonable. And most importantly, because the final word is really the court's, that the court has determined is fair and reasonable. So I thank the ladies that are here for showing their support for the settlement. I thank, on behalf of myself and John and the entire steering committee, all of our clients for the trust that they placed in us, and I hope they feel good about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard.
We're satisfied.
I'm glad you're happy.
Yeah, happy.
Does anybody have any questions they would like to ask while we're congregated here? Yes.
Can you describe, you interviewed or actually talked to 4,000 women? Have you identified all of the 8,000 plus? Or?
Yes. Throughout the 8 law firms that are involved in our steering committee, we interviewed 4,000 or more. The Schochor firm, my firm, interviewed approximately 2,000. And the purpose for that is, as Howard described, we want to get to know our clients, and we want to get to know the modus operandi of Dr. Levy. We learned an awful lot of pattern behavior. So this man was not doing one thing with one client, patient, and another thing with another patient. There are patterns of his conduct that we discovered through the course of these investigations, if you will, interviews. And we wanted to get a good idea, a good feeling, a good gestalt of what the damages were across the entire patient population. After that, when we engaged the services of the psychiatrist and psychologist, and they came down and trained our female teams to do the interviews, they reconstructed a new interview form that was more, let's just say, consolidated, and it was one form for all instead of proprietary interviews that all of the 8 firms had done previously. They coded them to a computer. They trained our female paralegals and other staff members on how to properly interview, and then we went ahead and re-interviewed approximately 500 of those women, our clients, in order to categorize and the damages that they suffered and do some scientific studies with respect to the injuries.
What about these other 4,000 or 5,000 women? Do they need to get in touch with you?
Yeah, here's how this will work. They have been identified, They have all registered with our claims administrator, which is called a Heffler company. So there are specialized companies that do these things. They're registered. We are trying to eliminate duplications now, because as you can well imagine, with the excitement of all of this, we have some of our clients registering once, twice, 3 times, and then some of their brilliant lawyers like ourselves are registering them too. And so now we have to reverse engineer this and get all the get all the duplications out. And we estimate there are approximately 8,000 to 9,500 active participants in this class seeking possible compensation. And the team, the allocation team, will come in and will evaluate them all. What we did in our study was to get a statistically reliable study, so we could place patients in different categories of damages, and then we would have an appropriate study with appropriate percentage of injuries and damages to present in mediation.
How long do you expect the time frame to take, once you get the 44 days and the funding is there and you can go forward with that evaluation allocation? What's that time period? When will any of these women see any money?
Well, our goal, and I think that's the best that we can say right now, our goal is to make every effort to get this accomplished within the course of the next 12 months at the outside. And our understanding is that those that are going to be charged with the responsibility for administrating and carrying out our allocation plan are planning on marshaling the services of many more competent, experienced psychiatrists, psychologists to help in the evaluation process, to vet interviewers, so we can have many, many interviewers so that we can speed up the interview process, and then all of that information, as John said, will be coded, will be evaluated, and the women will be placed into, based upon the opinion of the expert, which category that they belong in. And women will have a right to appeal. If someone is told you belong in the mild category or the moderate category or the severe category of damages, and you feel that you've been aggrieved by that you have an opportunity to have your materials reevaluated by another psychologist or psychiatrist to evaluate it. And they're still refining that exact plan, but we want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to be fully and thoroughly evaluated, to be interviewed, and if they don't agree with the initial assessment, to raise that issue. And what we try to do is develop an objective team, and this is what's going to be done further, an objective team of experts who are going to arrive at unbiased, objective opinions. They have no axe to grind and are simply looking out for each of the women and trying to arrive at a fair and appropriate characterization or categorization of each of them.
And what ballpark estimate are these women looking at? What's the range of damages they could receive?
The range of damages has not been established yet. It will be by this allocation team after it is determined how many people are in each category. And then it will all be balanced, mild, moderate, severe, there's one other category in there. Then numbers will be assigned to each category, and then each person will know what they will receive. However, nothing will be dispersed until the entire allocation plan for compensation is submitted to Judge Cox, who will review the entire plan, and he has to approve it before anybody gets any funding. But the money, don't forget, this is important for these kind of numbers, will be in an interest-bearing account. And once the judge decides, and it's his decision, what fees and expenses our steering committee receives, the balance of that money, earning the interest, will be paid to our clients, with the exception of the other administrative fees it will take to allocate the funds with the allocation team and the other experts we have to pay. But they get all the benefit of that money and the interest.
Is the steering committee seeking the 35%, as they said they could take us up to in the notice?
Yes. Any other questions? I want to thank you all for coming and attending and sharing this time with us. Congratulations, ladies.